I'm not that way at all. And then he goes to the rich young ruler and says, the rich young ruler asks Jesus, what must I do to go to heaven, Jesus? And he said to him, well, you know the law. Keep the law. Oh, I have, Jesus. He didn't keep the law. You know why, Elisa? You know why he didn't keep the law? And by the way, the law is the Ten Commandments.
Because he didn't give everything away.
No. Why couldn't he keep the law? I want you guys to give me the easiest answer possible. Why couldn't he keep the law? Why? Even though he says he did, why did Jesus ultimately fail him on that test? Why?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because nobody can. Nobody can keep the law.
Which is why we're sinners?
What's that?
Which is why we sin, or we're considered sinners, or considered sin?
That's right. We're unrighteous before God. Paul says in Romans chapter 3, there are none who do good, no, not one. There are none who are righteous, and there are none who seek after God.
Well,
so what do you think it takes? Hold on. Let me get to this point, because it's important. What do you think it takes for us to become perfect in that Jesus will accept us into heaven? What will it take? For God to see us as perfect, how are we going to do it? How? We can't do it in ourselves. We can't work for our salvation. We can't do more ritualistic things to enter into heaven. So how are we going to do it? We're all damned, and we're ready to go to hell. How? How, Elisa? How are we going to do it?
Ask Jesus.
How?
Follow Jesus, to be humble and follow Jesus, so we can be saved.
What does that mean?
And
what does that mean?
So we can go into the kingdom of God.
So that Jesus becomes our master, and we become his slave.
Well,
and together we become one.
That's what I just said, to follow Jesus.
Now listen. So that his righteousness is imputed in you.
But wasn't Jesus a teacher, a rabbi?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you say master, where is this coming from? If we're supposed to be following Jesus, he's our teacher.
No, that's coming from his disciples. They call him master.
Oh no, Jesus called himself a master. In fact, Mary and Martha called him master. And then in the upper room during the foot washing, Jesus says, you call me Lord and Master, and that's good because that's what I am. So Jesus definitely affirms that he's a master and Lord and teacher. He's all those things.
But he didn't say he didn't call.
Well,
wait a second. He didn't consider himself master until after he was resurrected.
No. In the Garden of Gethsemane, he says to his disciples, "Who is it that you say I am?" And he asks, right. And Thomas says, "I know that you are Jesus of Nazareth." And he asks another disciple. He asks Judas, and Judas says, "You are a great teacher." And that's when Peter stands up and says, "You are the Christ. You are the Son. You are the living God." And that's when Jesus says that's right. And upon you, Peter, I will build my church. You are my rock.
Yeah, look at Luke 17:13. There were a couple who yelled out his name, saying, "Jesus, Master, have pity on us." I think that was the lepers. Okay, there's a lot of people that call him Master, and he affirms it. But my point is, when somebody is your master, that means you're his servant. And if you're his servant, you're a slave.
Well, even in front of the Pharisees, before he's scourged, and they bring him when Judas betrays him, okay, which is something we could get into also if you want to talk about the gospel according to Judas, but that's beside the point. Judas knows that Jesus, supposedly, according to that, Jesus tells Judas that somebody has to betray me, and that somebody is you. And Judas supposedly betrays Jesus, but he begs him not to be scourged, which is exactly what happens. But Jesus knows that this is what's going to happen to him. He expects it. But he knew that if he told Judas this, he wouldn't do it. But that's begging the issue. But when Jesus is in front of the Pharisees and they ask him point blank, "Are you the Messiah? Are you the Son of God?" That's when he says, "I am," and they rip their prayer shawls, their telasim, because he has just blasphemed in front of them by claiming to be the Son of God.
God in flesh, yeah. Hey guys, it is an awesome pleasure once again to be part of your show. I have to get going, but I hope this makes sense to you, especially you, Elisa, who's discovering Catholicism. And I love to talk to your friend if he's listening. I'd love to talk to you and get into it with you and talk about what makes Catholicism Catholicism. What does it mean to be a Catholic? Maybe we'll answer that question next time. But please, I'm begging you from the bottom of my heart, don't be self-righteous. Now, you may think that you're humble, and you may think that I'm not self-righteous like the Pharisees, but I want you to think about every time you see the purple fine linen priests up there with their vestments doing self-righteous acts, they are acting like the Pharisees. And I want you to remember Luke 14. Would you do that? Every time you go to that Mass, I pray that the Lord will remind you of Luke 14. And what that's going to start doing, Elisa, is just start putting a bad taste in your mouth.
Well, the only thing that I have to say is that this was a great show. This was an excellent show.
Amen. I pray it was. I pray it was. Guys, you guys are always dear friends of mine. Hey, I was talking to my wife. What do you guys think of this idea? Why don't we plan this winter? We'll do a long weekend thing, I don't know, a couple days, where me and my wife travel to New York City to do a live show with you guys. What do you think?
Really?
Yeah, I would literally come by and we'll do a live show together live. We'll just come in here. We've never been to New York City, so it'd be kind of cool to spend a couple days there.
That sounds great.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Just have to figure out how to do it, that's all.
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah.
We'll obviously, we're not talking about spending a night at your place, but we'll be talking about, getting a hotel, coming by your place. We'll actually do a live show, maybe go out to dinner. I don't know if you guys would be interested in that. We'll go out to dinner and bring Elisa with us. We'll have a nice little discussion.
Well, you're talking to Jewish people here. Food is everything,
We'll do it.
I mean, really. Come on.
Take them to Harold. Still love it.
No, to come to New York and then go to Jersey, I don't know. Take them to Rock and Roll, Felix's favorite place. Every Jew loves Chinese. Every Jew loves Chinese food.
We can go to Peter Luger's. We'll go to the one in Melville.
Peter Luger's is not that great. Oh, Peter Luger's.
I heard.
Yeah, it's not that great anymore. We went to the one in Brooklyn, the original.
Oh, no, don't say that. The one in Brooklyn is better than the one in Melville.
You're right, it is. But the one in Brooklyn is vastly different from 30 years ago, okay? Anyway.
Well, why don't you guys think about it and get back to me? I would like to go this winter. I think that'd be a lot of fun to go to New York City this winter. Well, guys, have a great night. Elisa, call me anytime.
Too.
You know where you can reach me.
Hope everything is well with the family. Okay.
Indeed, you too.
All right, thank you for calling
again. All right, guys. Have a good night.
Right,
you too.
All right, Chad.
Good night, Elisa.
Good night, Chad.
Okay, intern.
All right.
Yeah.
Chief intern. She has even surpassed me.
We didn't even get a chance to talk about a lot of the stuff we're going to talk tonight.
Well, the only thing we were going to talk about was going to be news, but this turned out to be a great, totally religious show.
It was.
Which is what Friday is supposed to be.
Yep.
I honestly didn't think we would have enough. That's why I added the news part, because I didn't think we'd have enough time, but we really did a great job.
When Chad gets on, it's going to be long.
Yeah, of course. And it's funny because I read something today about something that happened in Philadelphia, and I thought we would be able to get into it.
I know that policeman who was shot 3 times and actually chased down the perp who shot him.
The cop, I think it was the cop. Some
yeah,
guy
I said the cop who shot. Yeah, the guy
and it was and they said, and the guy confessed up and said that he was part of ISIS or something like that.
Well, they said they were tracking. He was inspired by ISIS. Okay. And he just picked upon this one cop because he was patrolling. He was in his car. And the guy leaned in and shot him 3 times.
13 times. A little 13 rounds.
Well, but only 3 hit him. And the guy had 3 bullets in him, and he got out to chase him.
I don't think he got out to chase him.
Yes, he did. They showed it on the news. He got out of the car, and he started chasing the guy. And meanwhile, he was on his walkie-talkie, and he said, officer in need of assistance. I've been shot 3 times. I'm bleeding badly, but I'm in pursuit. They couldn't believe that the guy was actually chasing him. The news people,
All right, we'll talk about this.
Talk about that Monday.
All right.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to be on the show on Monday. I have a week to go to.
All right, don't worry about it.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Right.
But
I don't know if I'll be home in time.
Don't worry.
That's all right.
Never
Study up for next Friday. And talk to your friend. Maybe he'll want to come on, and it'll be great.
All right, we're going to be cutting off the show now.
All right, folks. This is
Doc.
The Doc saying good night. Have a great week. I almost forgot who I was. Have a great weekend.
And this is the Rev saying enjoy, have a good night, and have a blessed weekend.
And we will see you on Monday as the Coffee Club.
Take care. Thank you for listening again. Good night. Good night, Lisa.
Good night.